Everything's fine here. Everything's fine. Yeah, right. Well, I'll tell you what. You know, if you didn't know that this was going to happen and you're a politician, I think you should resign. Kind of was looking back at, well, first of all, you perpetuated this thing and you followed along with your dear leader for a long time. And I see that in a certain way, but you kept on perpetuating the lie that voter fraud is something. I'm telling you, you and especially after the riot now, you were either one of three things. I mean, you were either ignorant, you didn't know. I mean, maybe you didn't know that all the studies that have been done about voter fraud in the past, there's plenty of data out there. There's plenty of data out there. I'll leave a link to one study in the link below here, but in that study, it was, I'll have to read it to you here. One study out of many that have come to the same conclusion, that there is hardly any voter fraud at all. You can't use this as any kind of an excuse. The researchers from Stanford, Harvard, and Yale investigated how often a person with the same first name, last name, and birth date voted in more than one location. The authors used a model to estimate how many people in the U.S. share the same name and birth date. They used that model to estimate how many people in the U.S. have voted twice in the same election. Assuming there were no errors in voter registration records, their analysis found that at most 0.02% of the votes cast in 2012 were double votes. Now that's not much. But they noted that many, if not all, of these apparent double votes could be a result of measurement error in their model. So it might even be zero. They also found that a cross-checking strategy designed to purge duplicate voters would eliminate 300 legitimate registrations where two distinct people had the same name and birth date for every registration used to cast a double vote. So there you have it. If you were ignorant of all these studies like that are out there, I mean, I'm an idiot. I can find these myself. You should resign. You should resign from Congress. I don't want an ignorant leader up there that doesn't know how to tell the difference between good science and bad science. Anyway, there's also a couple other things that, hold on a second here. There's also a couple other things that you can be. And they're no excuse. You should resign from your post. All right, let's see here. Yeah. The other thing that you could have known that it was voter fraud, but then I'd say you're guilty of nefarious intentions. You knew that you would whip up this crowd of people, and you knew what would the result would be. At least you had some idea, because when I saw that little rally beforehand, to me, that is inciting a crowd to do violence. That's a lynch mob, for crying out loud. What kind of assholes do you think? What kind of assholes are you? I mean, and do you think we don't frickin' see that? You can gaslight some people, like you have been doing, but you can't gaslight everybody, you know? But you should be held accountable for being so nefarious, because I know some of you are. Some of you are guilty of that. And you better hope that we don't find out who you are, because you will suffer the consequence of law. That's where law and order comes from, instead of your lying president. Maybe some of you were too afraid, but I'll tell you what, on this part of it, I don't want you in my office. I don't want you up there representing me. If you're afraid for your family and stuff, I can see that a little bit. I can see that why you'd want to stay silent. But at that moment, you should have resigned if you don't have the guts to do it, because you don't deserve to hold that position any longer. You're a coward. You took an oath to defend this country when you are in there. That's the difference between you and me. But anyway, I just wanted to get this rant out. But, you know, hey, it's all fine, right? We need to change the way our Congress works. And I'm ready. Give me some ideas. All right, Drivebye out.